ESD2 Board of Directors to order. Certify there is a quorum present. Commissioner Domney, Commissioner Arnold, myself, and Commissioner Thornton by video. Commissioner Wilson's not here yet. So, and at this time, I'd ask everybody to stand for prayer and pledge of allegiance to the United States and Texas flag. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the many blessings you provided each and every one of us. Dear Lord, we just ask that you would be with us this night as we go about the business of the district. We ask that you would watch over our firefighters, their families, and watch over each and every one of us, that you would lead us, guide us, and protect us. And I ask that you would bless this meeting that started in order, may be conducted in peace, and dismissed in harmony. All these things in your Son Jesus' name we ask. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. As a reminder, please silence all your electronic devices if you would. I think we have some members of the Cheek and Williams family here with us tonight. We're glad y'all are here. Thank you very much for coming. And see James Stefka from GMR's back there, along with Jim Spire from Christus. If I miss anybody, I'll apologize. All right. Item number 4, public comment. We have anybody signed up for public comment?
We do not.
Okay. All right. Since we have nobody signed up for public comment, we'll move on to item number 5, official resolution in support of the establishment of the Captain Kevin Williams and Firefighter Austin Cheek Memorial Highway in Smith County. And at this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Domney if he would read that resolution.
So a resolution at a regular meeting of Smith County ESD2 held in Smith County 911 building in Tyler, Texas, at which a quorum was present, the following resolution was adopted. Whereas Smith County ESD2 is in support of the state of Texas naming a portion of the Farm to Market 2493, also known as Old Jacksonville Highway, to Captain Kevin Williams and Firefighter Austin Cheek Memorial Highway. And whereas Smith County ESD2 is in support of the state recognition being pursued by Flint Gresham Volunteer Fire Department and Texas Senator Brian Hughes' office. And whereas Captain Williams, 42, Firefighter Cheek, 19, died while fighting the house fire off 2493 in Flint on August 3rd, 2007. They were both noonday volunteer fire departments, firefighters. Whereas Senator Hughes has filed a bill in Texas legislation to rename the portion of 2493 Smith County between its intersection with Church Street in Flint and its intersection with County Road 150. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Smith County ESD2 to support the establishment of Captain Kevin Williams and Firefighter Austin Cheek Memorial Highway in Smith County. And it'll be signed by each one of our commissioners. Thank you all very much.
All right. Y'all heard the official resolution, and if there's no other question or discussion, I'd entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
So made.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domney. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. All right. When we just want to tell the families, we do appreciate the service that Kevin and Austin gave to this community. I knew both of them very well. Not very well, but I knew them. Had been on calls with them, and you know, that's what I guess being a true patriot is. They didn't bother about laying down their life for a friend or their county or their country, so, we appreciate their sacrifice and don't ever think it's not appreciated. Okay. All right, item number 6, consent agenda. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action related to payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll requests for reimbursement, requests for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. And under 6.1, that's all our bills for the month.
Emergency purchases.
Yeah, 6.1's emergency purchases.
Oh, we got one emergency purchase, I'm sorry. Yeah, 6.1 is one emergency purchase for Isaac's Wrecker Service in the amount of $4,702.50.
Make the motion, we approve the pen bill to Isaac Rector Service for $4,702.50.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominic that we approve the payment to Isaac's Wrecker Service in the amount of $4,702.50. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. And also note that Commissioner Wilson has now joined us at 6:07 p.m. All right, item 6.2 would be payment of our regular bills. If anybody has a question on any of it, we went over them Friday, and I didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
I don't have any. I'll make the motion that we approve payment of our bills in the amount of $1,083,324.24.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Dominic, we pay our bills in the amount of $1,083,324.24. Have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Can we hear Scotty? I can't hear him. Oh, okay, all right. 6.3, our district credit card bills. And, those amount to $18,950.78. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary on those that I saw, unless somebody found something.
I got
Okay.
one of them that, Larry, under your card, there's a PO 5857, which is to debt. But it doesn't describe which vehicle it's going to or an apparatus. And I noted there were a couple of other ones in there where it just, on the summary, it just shows up as PO only, and then even when you go back to the individual charges, it doesn't state specifically, it tells me what you bought, but it doesn't necessarily tell me what it's for.
We have talked about that. We're gonna start making sure that even though if we include a PO number, we're gonna start to give a summary there. We do have them on the POs.
I'm sure you do, but I just can't see the PO.
Yes,
All right, thank you. Well, I guess I could if I really put forth the effort, but
Yeah,
it'd make it a lot simpler if you just put a small note on there, it'd be great.
yes.
yeah. Okay. Anybody have any other questions or comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Make the motion to pay our credit card bills in the amount of $18,950.78.
Motion by Commissioner Dominy, to pay the credit card bills in the amount of $18,950.78. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. There he is. All those say nay. That motion carries. All right, 6.4 will be our contract payments, which is Suddenlink, electric bills, paging services, things of that nature. And that amount in our stipends, and that amounts to a total of $68,603.92.
Make the motion, we approve our contract payments, amount of $68,603.92.
Motion by Commissioner Dominy, that we pay our contract payments in the amount of $68,603.92. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay, and that motion carries. There was no urgent purchases that needed to be done, is that correct? And then 6.6 is the pre-approved payments, and it's for board information only, and that's on our Blue Cross Blue Shield, which are our health and dental premiums for the career employees, and that amount was $86,213.78 for last month. So no action to be taken on that item. Item 7, approval of minutes. Under 7.1, special call meeting December 13th, 2024.
I believe Commissioner Brown, you reviewed that one.
Okay. Look at it real quick.
I wasn't present at that
Yeah.
meeting.
Oh, that was the contract payments that we had to pay?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's all true and correct to the best of my recollection. Everything's fine. And I'll make a motion, we had to accept those minutes of the special call meeting of December 13th, 2024.
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Okay, and
And then under the Board of Commissioner regular meeting on December the 27th, I've viewed those minutes and verified they're correct and make the motion we adopt those as presented.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Dominic, we approve the minutes of the meetings for December 27th, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. All right. Let's see, let me get this thing out, because I knew it was gonna happen. All right. Under 8, Executive Director, Administrative and Financial Report.
Okay,
Eric?
so as always, I will touch upon a few highlights since you have the written report in front of you. So first, I would like to say that we appreciate the collaboration of all 7 volunteer fire departments in finalizing the new contract with the district. Each of the 7 have been signed, and we have a few tidying up of a few formalities which we're going to take care of tonight, and then we will distribute a copy of the signed and countersigned contracts to all of the fire chiefs. Internally within administration, all the performance evaluations have been completed, and I will, over the next couple of weeks, set up meetings with each individual commissioner to basically review some select results of those reviews. And I am also pleased to announce that our senior accountant, Mr. Keith Beam, has successfully passed a final exam to achieve the designation of Certified Government Finance Officer. It's required several exams to achieve, so I just wish to congratulate Keith of making this achievement.
Congratulations, Keith.
Congratulations, Keith.
So, you feeling a lot smarter now, are you?
Yeah.
Good job.
Switching over to some of the finances, and if you recall over the last several months, when we speak about the sales tax, we have sort of had good news. The sales tax this year has been up compared to last year, etc., both on the individual month, but also year to date. And when you really look deep into the reports, you will see that there are quite a few indications that the increases we have achieved this year is due to one specific taxpayer, which we cannot mention in public session. So I would like that we apply some caution in making ongoing spending commitments based on this increase, because I doubt that will be sustainable going forward.
Well, it is a short-term project that we're all aware of that is gonna keep it from recurring.
Yeah, I don't, since that particular name of the taxpayer cannot be mentioned.
Right, but we all are aware that it is short-term, so
Yes,
we do know it's not a long-term item, yeah.
And lastly, I would like to mention on the, last month I mentioned that we were gonna move some of the investments. The investment officers were going to move the investment from one particular fidelity fund to another, and that has been completed. And we can sleep a little bit more secure now. Not very much, just a little bit. We basically went from one secure to another secure, but with everything that's going on at a national and federal level now, I think we are better off where we are. And that's really all I have to highlight. At your disposal for any questions.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Eric? All right. well,
Not for me.
Thank you.
Item 9, the financial reports. Mr. Keith?
Commissioners, I'd like to look at the budget versus actual, if you have that in front of you. So we're at January 31, 2025, 4 months into the fiscal year. We should be at about 33%, and we are, for the most part. Our ad valorem tax, we're right at 74%. Recorded revenue for the year. Last year, by February, we had recorded 95% of all the budgeted ad valorem tax. Sales tax, we're right at 35%, 4.5 million approximately. Just for some context, last year we had recorded $5 million. Looking on down the page through revenue, county support, Cherokee support, that's 41000. We budgeted $44,600 for this year. We're not going to realize that. You know, Troop was one of the folks that contributed to this, and Troop is no longer contributing their Cherokee County revenues, solely Bullard, so we won't make that $44,600. Going further down the page, looking at personnel cost, Eric and I are really keeping an eye on overtime and just personnel cost in general. And I think right now, we're cautiously optimistic that our overall personnel cost should closely align to what actuals will be at the end of the fiscal year. Right now, we've got budgeted $16.7 million. We've utilized approximately $6.9 million, so right at 41%, but we are really keeping an eye on this. Administrative operating expenses, we've utilized 38% of the budget. So again, we're 4 months in, we should be around 33%. So we're fairly in line. Contractual, legal, professional, we're right at 39%. Looking on down the page to transfers to capital, we budgeted $4.4 million. We've only transferred so far $125,000, and so that's one of the things I'm going to look at before the end of February is trying to button up the transfers that the senior leadership wants us to affect. Looking just at fire operations in general. If you looked at actual expenditures and total encumbrances, they're right at utilized 44% of their $969,000 budget. Training operations is utilized 35% of their budget. Facilities, for the most part, right in line, utilized approximately 37% of facilities budget. Overall, our expenses are $8.8 million. We have budgeted expenses of $27.7 million, and those are exactly 33%. So right in line with where we should be. So if there's any questions on any of the other financial reports or anything else, I'll certainly try to answer.
And right now, the biggest risk you see is really around wages, right? Overtime, particularly. The rest of them are the ups and downs or
Correct. Yes, sir.
customary. Yeah. Very good, thank you.
All right. Anything else we need to hear from Keith? All right, item 10, Director of Human Resources report. Ms. Sherry?
Good evening. Before you have my report, I just want to point out a few things on it. We have hired 9 firefighters, 8 full-time and 1 part-time, and we have promoted Dylan Lassen to lieutenant. And orientation will start March 3rd and run through March 14th. We have also filled the fleet maintenance technician pending pre-employment screenings, and when that's final, we'll have a start date. And then IT field technician, we are accepting applications at this time for that role. The 1094C was filed on February 7th with the IRS. The Texas Workforce Occupational Employment and Wage Statistic Report was submitted on February 11th. And the 2024 audit for workers' comp with Texas Mutual was completed, and we're receiving a refund of $29,882.95.
Nice.
That's
That's good.
good.
That's good news.
Very good.
That's the only things I wanted to highlight, unless you had a question for me.
No, I don't think so.
So you already have another round of interviews set up for firefighters?
Not yet, but we'll be probably
Close.
doing it soon, I'm sure.
How many openings do we have left?
Well, right now, we're
That gets
full.
us full for the
Yeah, so,
in the 12th.
Okay,
yeah, we're full.
thank you.
Yeah, I go ahead and try to get us a list of a few that if somebody leaves, that we got somebody we can just draw on, hopefully. So, all right, I guess injuries are next.
And I'm happy to report, in February, we did not have any workers' comp injuries that resulted in a loss of hours. And then I also wanted to give an update on January. We did have 4 in January, if you recall. 3 out of the 4 has returned to work without restrictions as of January 27th. So that leaves us with just 1 remaining, and he's looking to be out 6 to 8 weeks post-surgery. That concludes that.
Good that we have a month without any.
Yep,
Yes.
Great.
Good.
yep. Okay, all right, thank you, Sherry. Anybody have any other questions for Sherry? Okay. Item 11, Community Outreach Coordinators Report. Ms. Nikki?
Good afternoon, or it's evening time, I guess now. Okay, so I won't say that the last month is QUIET, because I know better than to say that, but it was a great month for education. So we had a lot of calls that were weather-related, so we emphasized a lot of sharing with the community that even though we weren't under a burn ban, we were seeing a lot of calls that were increasing in risk due to weather, specifically high winds. So we just made sure to always communicate with the community about those risks that were going on there. Our firefighters were running calls left and right. I know y'all can attest to that as far as grass fires. I don't think that we have gone a month in the year that I've been here that we have not worked with the media. So just in building those relationships, that has been great as we have continued to educate people on those situations or whatever is going on seasonally, whether we're going into structure fire season and the safety of space heaters, or as we go into severe weather season, right before we go into the summer months. So just in communicating with that, I have to give a real shout out to everyone, especially that team that falls under operations, because they are always available to make those media requests happen. So that's been great. We are still working on our website, and again, I mentioned that last month that we're hoping for a soft deadline in about September, but the feedback that we gathered from the community surveys allowed us to really start beginning to look at the design, what features needed to be prominent, what we needed to keep organized, and being able to take the information that was already laid out there. We're working on that structure, so I'm excited to see this come to life and all of those pieces move around. And then you guys can see some of the statistics that we're still receiving receiving on our social media. One of our big posts, I talk about education. I got to work with Lieutenant Moore and some of our other firefighters on advanced knot tying, just to kind of showcase, again, from a recruitment standpoint, the knowledge that we share across the district in what you could receive just in the station house from all of our firefighters, especially if you're a young firefighter coming in and you're just really hungry, eager to learn and progress. So we were excited about that, to highlight that. Got a lot of interaction on that. And the Swiftwater team, I know a lot of people are excited about that, and especially as we go into these summer months, as we're preparing and training for that, we had more than 21,000 people engaging on those posts related to the Swiftwater meeting. So that was pretty exciting. And then we had safety, and so thank you to everyone who were able to come to my session. I know there were a lot to choose from, so I appreciate the teams that came. We got a lot of great feedback on my side. We got, me and my department of me, but we as a district got a lot of great feedback in how we're handling our engagement online, and got some questions asked on how to handle some things. So it was great to be able to network with people that way.
Great. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if the families don't mind, before y'all leave tonight, we'd like to get a picture with y'all with the proclamation, if that's all right. Nikki, if you do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. Item 12, Assistant Executive Director report on support services. Larry?
Commissioners, as always, you have my report before you, so I'll just hit a few highlights and then be available for any questions. I'm happy to say that we did complete a project at Noonday Station to mitigate some erosion issues by installing some riprap. That project was completed for under the board approved amount. It only cost us about $1,300 to complete. I think we had about $40,000 budgeted for that project, so that's a pretty significant savings. And later in the meeting, we'll be talking about another opportunity for similar savings on a different project. In addition to that, the fuel tanks, those should be delivered probably either Friday or starting on Monday. We'll start to see those come into staging at Fleet for final installation. So we had some hang-ups with, believe it or not, just the labels. They misprinted some of the labels, and that's what's holding us up. So I think those labels should be in by Friday, and they're hoping to get us our first shipment then. So that's exciting. We are, I think you'll notice in the report that some of the metrics has changed as it relates to the average time to respond to tickets. That was mainly due to a reporting error where after hours times were being included in those calculations. So when we were looking at 7-hour response times, that included overnight hours. So we narrowed that down to business hours, where we're looking at business hours only. And that's why you'll see a significant drop in this month's report for metrics on average time to respond, most of them averaging around 20 minutes or so to respond to tickets. So well within the SLA targets. Other than that, the tickets and all metrics are pretty well holding as expected. Happy to answer any questions.
And you do have a
That's next.
new
Yes, sir.
fleet mechanic that accepted, so we'll hopefully start seeing some of that improve.
Yes, I believe it'll probably take 4 to 6 weeks before you really start seeing any improvement in that. The fleet technician we did hire does have lots of experience, so I think he'll be able to jump in. It's really going to be getting him through all of our internal training and onboarding and safety training. And so once he's through that and really understands the shop and the layout and what he needs to do, I think he'll be productive pretty quickly.
Great.
I think it'd be good also to keep up with the after hours, how long it takes them to do it, make sure we're not getting a long delay on getting somebody out after hours if need be.
We do track that. That's actually within the SLAs. So when I'm talking SLAs, that's service level agreements. That's based on the priority and the urgency and its impact. That drives whether we have an after-hours response need or not. If it is after-hours response need, then that is calculated in this. So for things that are like a leak or a truck out of service, that's a primary engine, all of those would still be tracked as that response time. So it's just going to be for the lower priority things. Those wouldn't be tracked outside of operational hours. In addition to my board report, the board should notice that I have a memo on our fire apparatus tire replacement practices as a follow-up to the board from a meeting or two back, where we had some questions on how we replace tires and why we're replacing tires at certain points. And I'd be happy to answer any questions the board has on that memo on our practices.
didn't, the only thing that, I'd ask is, do we log, so it's based on 7 years from manufacture date, do we log what their age was when they're mounted? So
We
we kinda
do.
know kind of where we're starting from?
We will reject any tires from the tire install stop that's not the same year.
Okay, so normally 12 months is your threshold?
Yes, yes, sir.
We get ready to do this up our agreements, I'd ask that we could narrow that down quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
Right. All right. Anything else, Larry, besides the items that you're gonna discuss, need to purchase?
No, sir, that concludes my report, unless there's any other questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No. Do we have a complete inventory list of stuff that we have that's spare?
That's spare?
Yeah,
Yes, sir, we do.
all right, good, all right. 12.2, discuss and consider and take any action on purchasing replacement recliners for 4 stations.
Commissioners, this is a total of 17 recliners. It is the same manufacturer and vendor that we've selected in past meetings. The evaluation tabulation is complete. This is line item budget, and the best value is what's recommended, and that's Dream Seat LLC, mainly for their warranty. We have several of these recliners that have been deployed for over 6 years at this point, and they're holding up extremely well.
Just time to replace them, right?
Well, these are going to be replacing old ones,
Yeah.
not ones that have been priorly replaced by the district. So, yes, sir, all of these are in much need of replacement.
All right.
I'll make a motion, we authorize staff to purchase 17 new recliners at a cost of $15,779 from Dream Seat LLC.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy, authorize staff to purchase the 17 new recliners at a cost of $15,779 from Dream Seat LLC. Have a second? Second. Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 12.3, discuss and consider to take any action on replacing all tires on Flint Tender 162 at a cost of $5,157.74.
Commissioners, this is a standard purchase for us. The tires need to be replaced under our management practices, and that is the total from our contracted vendor.
Okay, and the total amount for those tires is $5,157.74 from Southern Tire Mart, which is our tire vendor.
Make the motion, we approve the purchase of new front and rear tires for Tender 162 from our contracted vendor, Southern Tire Mart, cost of $5,157.74.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries. 12.4, discuss, consider, and take action on purchasing new front and rear tires for ARP Tender 141 at a cost of $5,466.38 also from Southern Tire Mart.
Same story, Commissioners. The tires need to be replaced, and this is our contract vendor.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to do that.
Make the motion, we authorize staff to purchase new front and rear tires for ARP Tender 141 for contracted vendor, Southern Tire Mart, at a cost of $5,466.38.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries.
This meeting is being recorded.
12.5, discuss, consider, and take any action on the purchase of Fos Check for inventory replenishment. And that's 260-gallon totes of Fos Check
Yes, sir.
at a cost of $19,550 from NAPCO.
That is correct. This is kind of a standard purchase for us. We have gone through quite a bit of foam here in the last several months due to lots of fires. We're getting low on inventory and need to replenish. I would point out to the commissioners that we've changed the agenda item summary just shortly to include a special considerations and notes section that kind of calls out anything that needs to be called out. This is not the low bid, this is a best value. Mainly it's to account for long lead times on the cheaper value. So just so you're aware.
Thanks for the note.
Yep.
Make the motion, we authorize purchase of two 260-gallon totes, Fos Check W881 for inventory at a cost of $19,550 from AFCO.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy, have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries unanimously. 12.4, discuss and consider and take any action on purchasing a new ABS brake module on Chapel Hill engine 136 at a cost of $2,562.71. And that's from Rush Truck Center.
Yes, sir. Commissioners, the evaluation tabulation is attached. This is a needed repair. We've attempted to flash this brake module in the past, and it's still losing its programming, and the fix is to replace the brake module.
Thank you for also putting forth the offering of buying our own module to flash, and agree that the savings is not worth it versus time lost in trying to do it all. So
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate looking at the alternatives so for us.
Thank
With
you.
that being said, I'll make the motion, we authorize staff to purchase and contract Rush Truck Center to replace the new ABS brake module on Chapel Hill engine 136, cost of $2,562.71.
Motion by Commissioner Dominy, do I have a second? Second. Have a second. Any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 12.7, discuss and consider and taking action on trimming the trees around the guy wire supporting the tower at Red Springs Station at a cost not to exceed $2,200. So you might want to speak on that, Larry.
Yes, sir. So a couple of things on this one. One, these trees desperately need to be trimmed. They're encroaching over the driveway as well as over the guy wires. We don't have the equipment to safely do that ourselves in-house. We've attempted to get several bids on this. We do have some comparable quotes. However, the bidders are not qualified for various reasons, either lack of bonding, lack of insurance, or lack of workers' comp insurance. So it's hard for us to find somebody that meets all of those and can get out and give us a bid for free. So you do only have one attached. That is the only qualified vendor, but we feel comfortable in the cost.
I do have one question. This says guy wires, it's not around live wires at all?
It is not, no, sir.
It's off the tower, isn't it? Our communications tower?
Yes, it's hanging over the lines on the communications towers, yes, sir.
Communication tower.
You'd have to have a bucket truck, or we'd have to rent an aerial device that we also risk, if we're doing it in-house, dropping wires on those guy wires.
We don't have a ladder anymore.
Even with a ladder, you wouldn't be able to position back there. This is going to be back behind the station over on that little wedge piece of property. It'd be very difficult.
Those lines were brought in underground too, Mac. Electric lines.
No, it's not electric.
I know that,
Yeah.
but he asked
Oh,
about
yeah,
electric wires over the guy wires.
yeah, okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion and allow the staff to schedule certified tree care to trim the trees around the guy wire at Red Springs Station 21 at a cost not to exceed $2,200, and print the check in advance the invoice.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Thornton to allow the staff to schedule certified tree care to trim the trees around the guy wires at Ridge Spring Station at a cost not to exceed $2,200, and that the check be printed in advance of the service to be held and released upon completion. Have a second?
I'll second. Go ahead.
Okay. Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Discuss and consider 12.8, discuss and consider taking action on erosion mitigation at Troop Station at a cost not to exceed $2,431.91. And and allow the staff to purchase the materials from All Natural Stone and Grass, rent the equipment from United Rentals to mitigate the erosion, and like I said, the cost not to exceed $2,431.91.
Commissioners, this erosion issue has been going on about 18 months now. That's been under our awareness. We went out for engineering study on it. We had the plans drafted. We posted for RFP. The results of those RFPs were used for budgeting purposes. The budgeted amount for this project was $90,872. Primarily, that was to go back into all of the bordering concrete all around the drive and parking lot and add a curb and gutter and water collection system that would prevent erosion from happening in the first place. What we have before you today is a request for $2,431.91 that would just treat the symptoms. We would go back and repack the area with top select and resod to prevent erosion, hopefully with the resodding. What I believe has happened is improper application of herbicide led to additional water runoff and soil loss, and that's beginning to undermine the concrete. So even if we have to do this every few years, we'll still be much better off than the engineered fix at $90,000, in my opinion.
Much the same as the other one that you mentioned earlier, where we had it wasn't the same mitigation, but it was addressing the problem. We may have to go back and revisit, but still a huge savings.
Yeah, I'd like to see how long this fix lasts. If it lasts more than a year, we're doing pretty good. So,
Yeah.
but I believe this will actually last a lot longer than a year.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on item 12.9.
12.8. So,
Is it 12.8?
yes, sir. So I'll make the motion that we
I'm sorry.
allow staff to buy materials for All Natural Stone and Grass and rent equipment from United Rentals to mitigate the erosion at Troop Station 46, cost not to exceed $2,431.91.
Motion by Commissioner Domney, and a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. I'm sorry about that, I'd rolled my screen up, was looking at 12.9. 12.9, discuss and consider and take any action on contracting drive savers to perform data recovery on the dash cam from Troop Engine 146 at a cost not to exceed $3,115, and authorize the staff to proceed with those efforts.
It's going to be,
So, Larry, you want to explain?
yes, sir. That's going to be
all that?
$3,315. And what this is we had an engine that was involved in a rollover accident. During that accident, the dash cam was damaged. We have a need to recover the dash cam, both for the investigation into the collision as well as for possible future training. What we've done is we've attempted a repair in-house. That repair was unsuccessful. We sent it out to the vendor. That repair was unsuccessful. Vendor returned it back to us. We sent it off to Drive Savers, which I've used in the past, a very well reputable company for data recovery. And they provided us a quote. They believe they can recover the data. The price that you see there is only if they recover the data. If they're unable to recover the data, they'll return it to us, and there will not be any charge. So that's only for successful recovery.
Is the company Drive Savers or Data Savers? It
It's,
says both.
It says drive.
it should be Drive Savers.
So down in the,
Down in the other.
Yeah, it should be,
Data Savers.
yeah, it should be Drive Savers.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Make the motion, we authorize staff to proceed with the data recovery efforts with Drive Savers for recovering the footage on the E146 dash cam, cost not to exceed $3,315.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney, have a second?
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Item 13, thank you, Larry. Chief Operations Report.
Good evening, Commissioners. You have my report before you. A couple of things that have already been touched on tonight, really talking about recruiting. Class 8 recruiting has gone quite well, and we're ready to begin that recruit class academy on March the 3rd. So that's coming pretty quick, and we're excited about what that means for us in alluded to a moment ago, that it gets us fully staffed related to our 12-hour positions, and so that's an exciting benchmark for the organization. Sherry had also mentioned some of the promotional efforts that have gone on in the lieutenant world, and we've got a promotion that's ready. We've got another one that's on promotable, and so that's exciting that we've gone through that process as well. She also mentioned that we have a part-timer coming on board with that class, and with quite a bit of experience from the Metroplex. We're also anticipating a driver-engineer promotional process that is being studied for and practice driving occurring up at Fleet. So a lot of anticipation for those that are going to compete in that promotional process. A little update on the CAD. The Commissioners Court has signed the documents. They did that ahead of us being able to have legal review. So Mr. Hardy has provided us a couple of corrections that are going to have to be addressed, and we'll be walking that back through with the County Commissioner's Office to get those corrections addressed. Some of those are just some overlooks that didn't get exactly as they should have, and we didn't have a whole lot of the lead time ahead of that before it went to the Commissioner's Court. An update with ESD1, Lindell is making progress on getting ready to order their equipment. So there's a lot of things that are occurring in the background to kind of get us ready to go. Motorola has begun the back office work of the project, and we're just tidying up all the loose ends, all the documents, all the required legal documents to make sure everybody's authorized. Additionally, we did take delivery of engine 132. That's the Pierce Enforcer that was being built in Florida. It took a little longer than anticipated, a couple of hurdles to get us where we're at, but I'm proud to report that it is at our shop, and upfitting is beginning without delay. Additionally, our Swiftwater Zodiac boat has delivered, and as Nikki mentioned a moment ago, there's a lot of work going on with the team and trying to get things ready, some additional advanced trainings, some joint trainings with Longview Fire Department. So we're exercising lots of opportunities in the region to combine and do good things with all of the water rescue program. In my Friday report, I indicated that the Noonday Station 66 will be where we house the boat, where we house the Swiftwater, the dive gear. All of the things are really starting to come together, really trying to get the team assembled, and really over time we'll relocate some staffing and really get technical disciplines associated with Noonday Station 66. Additionally, the approved upfitting or transition of the new transport that we're utilizing, the older Mack truck that had very low miles on it. It's looking fabulous, and it's coming along. It's at the frame shop, and I think it's going to make a great unit for us. We're really excited about some of the pride and ownership of those that have been working on it, just really trying to make it a nice piece of equipment for us that should serve our district for years to come at a true value of cost that we'll have into the truck itself. Recycling that which is useful for long term. So Commissioners, we're anticipating that potential TIFMAS deployment request that's coming in. I'm just hearing word of that. Indicated in my report that we have nobody deployed at the moment, and we're working on cost recovery as we speak. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have related to my report.
Didn't have anything, thank you. You're good. So what upfitting do we do once we get those engines in at our shop outside of the radio and communications?
Yeah, the radio and tablet is part of that. The only other upfitting will be mounting of tools and equipment. So okay. That's some of the tool mounts that we purchased a few months back. Those goes onto the peg boards that's in the compartmentation. So mounting all of the hydraulic rescue tools and all of the stuff will get mounted on the truck. It should be a pretty quick process on this one, maybe a few weeks.
Thank you.
13.2, discuss, consider, and take action on approval of command staff to attend the Texas Fire Chiefs Association Annual Conference.
Commissioners, this is a request to attend a professional development conference located in Waco. This is the Texas Fire Chiefs Association be holding their annual conference in Waco. Opportunity to network, an opportunity to share and learn from industry experts and really talk about some of the legislative challenges and things that the current trends that are facing the fire service in the state of Texas.
Make a motion, we approve the amount not to exceed of $3,499 for the command staff to attend the Texas Fire Chiefs Association Annual Conference.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Downey to approve $3,499 for the command staff to attend the Texas Fire Chiefs Association Annual Conference. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed,
Aye.
say nay, and that motion carries. All right. Discuss and consider and take action on the purchase of fire hose for inventory. Authorize the staff to purchase requested amount of hose from Citizens Martin at a cost of $33,312.
Yeah, Commissioners, as indicated in the request, just really resupplying some of the stock, is trying to maintain a little bit of supply of replacement hose. And as we've gone through over the last year and a half or so, we've gone through some hose and damaged some hose, had some that failed in terms of hose testing. So this is just a scheduled and budgeted resupply of stock of hose.
Is that the cheapest bid, or is that just one bid, or what?
There's an evaluation tabulation. Says Martin.
Yeah, there's three.
Is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Fire Hose Direct Metro and Siddons,
Sid's what's a little bit.
and Siddons Martin actually scored the highest out of all of them.
Entertain a motion.
I'd make the motion that we authorize staff to purchase the requested hose from Siddons Martin at the cost of $33,312.
A motion by Commissioner Domney, authorize staff to purchase replacement amount of hose from Citizens Martin at a cost of $33,312. Have a second? Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. Item 13.4, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on purchase of firefighting ground monitors, and authorize staff to purchase 2 Blitz Force monitors as quoted from Citizens Martin Fire Equipment for $5,545. So,
Commissioners, despite that we have some monitors throughout the district, some older equipment, some things that have been on engines in the past, maybe even the old ladder that we had there. This is a replacement to some of that equipment that begins to standardize our deployment package related to ground monitor. The ground monitor is something that we would flow off of a 2.5-inch hose line, getting roughly 500 gallons a minute to flow into things like a commercial dock door, a garage, things that have requirements for a larger fire flow, and maybe the remote access is limited related to our ability to use such as a deck gun. All the new engines have been equipped with deck gun monitors that'll flow at 1,000 gallons a minute. But this allows you to remotely position a monitor and flow it directly into the space that we're targeted at and looking to apply the water at. This request has been pared back to just 2. It'll allow us to have a couple that gets us started, gets us working towards our goal, sees how they work, their utilization and deployment. And can be deployed via the battalion trucks throughout the county.
So do we have some comparable equipment already in-house?
Yeah, there are a few that are older technologies, different nozzles, different flow rates, which causes us some standardization problems related to fire flow, and and understanding the hydraulics and pumping applications related to them. So we're talking about the difference in stack tip nozzles versus fog nozzles, some of the older Blitz Fire, these are Blitz Force, so a smaller package, if you will. And their deployability is definitely a better package than some of the older ground sets that have been out there. The old Blitz Fires were not bad, but we don't have a whole complement of those, just a few that are out there.
And this is not a budgeted item, correct?
Not line item budgeted.
Right, not line item budget.
Yep, definitely, as in the equipment, we see no issue with it being able to fund in that, but definitely wasn't specifically identified in line item.
So what's the flow rates on the ones we have?
Of the Blitz Fire? I'm not positive. So rather than spout that off the top of my head, I'd go back and get that for you.
I just hate to buy something if we already have something that will work and we can wait,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, if we got something that'll work and we can use it, just use it till the end of life cycle or whatever. You
Yeah, I think there's plenty of applications to utilize everything that we have on the tenders, to make sure that we're deployable, even from the tender applications. So this being a frontline, application, I think is definitely a value for the district.
You know, I'll just be honest with you, I got a call about it and was asked why we're buying it when we got some.
Yeah.
So I just did ask a few questions. I know we have 4 of them at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, there could be something hidden away at Chapel Hill I'm unaware of, yes.
One on each tender and one on each engine out there. So, I mean, if we can take a couple of them, and I don't see any sense in spending another $5,500 if we have something that'll work.
Whether we're gonna start robbing off at apparatus that's already outfitted to,
Well, these would be on the battalion chief truck, so they're gonna go to all structure fires. And that would be the easiest way, and they would still be 2 at Chapel Hill, or we can take the one that came off the old ladder truck that's out of service and one more, so, and we'd still have plenty.
or the brands, or the flow capabilities.
That's what I asked.
Fogs.
That's what I asked. Nobody seems can answer that.
Why don't we just table this one then till we understand what we got, and then we can readdress it at that time.
That's up to the board, that's what they wanna do.
I'll make the motion that we table 13.4 until we have the opportunity to go back in and reassess what we currently have in-house.
Okay. Have a motion that we table 13.4. Have a second? I'll second that one. Is there any other question or discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
No.
Okay. Have 4 ayes and 1 opposed. So we'll table that till later on. If we have to have a special call for it, we will. But, Larry, I would ask you to get an inventory list of everything we got, the flow rates on them, and everything else. That way we'll know for sure what we got.
You wanted Larry to do that?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a supporter. You can do it, either
Yeah,
one, however y'all want to do it.
no, I'm
Somebody
happy to
needs
take
give
care of
us a list.
Yeah, no issues, happy to take care of that.
Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, 13.5, discuss and consider and take action if necessary on the training center project. Phase 2.
Commissioners, what you have before you is a fabulous project that continues to build on the excellent training that's been accomplished at the training grounds that we've already been in development. We've spent money on that a year ago. I would say that the return on investment was fabulous on that money spent to get us started. The volume of live fire opportunities, training, search, fire, science that's been taught, both paid and volunteers that have gone through the training complex up there. So we've really got a true return on our investment related to what we've spent thus far. This asks for a modest $160,000+. I think it's $161,000 that begins to improve what we've already began with. It improves it in terms of forcible entry props. It improves it in terms of a burn insert that goes in the containers, stairways, additional concrete, some additional improved surfaces so that we can move the apparatus out towards the burn simulation. So all of this dollars is directly going to really improving the training opportunities that we have. It's really buying supplies, it's really buying concrete, it's buying materials, and very little in overhead cost or labor costs associated with it. We're really maximizing every dollar to the training opportunities that will be there. Happy to answer any questions that you might have related to the project.
It's line item budget.
It was.
It came in below the line item budget.
Yeah, the line item budget.
Okay, make the motion that we approve phase 2. I'm sorry, I've lost my place here in my paperwork here a little bit. Oh, yeah, to approve the project in the amount of $161,039 for the construction of phase 2 portion of the training center. Allow staff to sign all necessary documents. Acknowledge that the budget amount was $161,530.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Donnie, have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed,
Aye.
say nay, and that motion carries. All right? Thank you, Chief. Item 14, discuss, consider, and take action on the fire chiefs presenting, discussing issues with the board for future action. Art.
Good evening, or if you look at our call volume, we went up this past month. In January, went up, I think, about 13 or 14 calls. A lot of that was due to structure fires on those cold evenings we had, especially the beginning part of January. We've been providing tender operations for those type of calls. Also, the increase in grass fires. Personnel-wise, good news, bad news. One of our members got hired by the ESD, so good for him. But now we're down a member, so he'll start in a couple weeks. We do have one of our old members that got off the department at the beginning of last year. She's reapplied, going through that process right now. And then we have 3 more possible applications coming in, so trying to replace what we lost this past month. Any questions? All right.
Thank you, Chief. Bullard.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Not a whole lot to report since last month. PRs have slowed down. I think with the nicer weather coming, then that'll start to pick back up. We do have 5 new members that have been through background check, starting to onboard them. 2 more that are coming to the next meeting for interviews. Beyond that, we have 6 in Fire Academy, 3 in driver operator training, 3 in EMT, and 1 enrolled in live fire instructor. Myself and a board member were able to attend safety this month, and so I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to go to that. So I'm available for any questions you have.
Overall participation seems to have fallen over the month. Anything in particular that's driving that?
It's always an ebb and flow, to the roster in the volunteer world. I think over the summer we were upwards of 27 members on the roster, and we had gotten down to 13. With rostering apparatus, most nights on a 12-hour schedule, we do find sometimes that there's days that we don't get a full crew. And so sometimes we do ask operations to have the day crew hold over for the night. And then if we have 1 or 2 that are available, then we supplement the crew to staff the engine. But the participation has dropped a little bit, but that's part of the recruitment process to try to get that back up again.
Thank you.
Sir.
Chapel Hill, Chief Peterson.
Good evening. We picked up a little bit more on our calls again. Like I say, last time we're down while we got back up where we always been before. I have 2 officers that supported a Texas Public Safety Association in White House in Region 2. We went over there, did some judging for some of the kids, and I thought it was pretty good experience to watch some of these kids go through some of the stuff. In fact, you probably see someone on the news where it was publicized. Also, I had me and another board member went to the safety conference, and I thought that was pretty good what we did down at safety this year. And then also have one member that completed his Common Passenger Vehicle Rescue Technician course at Tarrant County. He completed that course. And I had, we had 6 members went to our association meeting as well. Also has more control burns, or people still burning, but we watch, they call us, so we go out there, try to help him before he gets out of control. And then also I've got 1 new member process, paperwork's in the process as well. And I also handed out 2 more paperworks for hopefully they'll be coming members as well. Once I get that back, I'll be processing that as well. And that's what I have today. Well, I did have our chili supper we had this last weekend as well.
Pretty good chili. Thank you, Chief. Chief Stone, Frank Gresham.
Good evening. I wanted to go on the 1 missed call that it's showing on the front. That was a secondary fire alarm when they were trying to reset the fire alarm, and that's just, they miscoded. It's actually, we didn't need to go. I've got 4 possible new members that we're working on right now. I've got 2 in Wildland right now, 3 in Firefighter 1, and I also had 2 that went to the Public Safety Association in White House. Any questions?
3 is Hunter.
Do what?
3, 1 response. That Hunter again?
Yes. Anything else?
Okay, thank you, Chief. Thank you. Noonday, Chief Harper.
Good evening. So currently, we've got 25 on our roster. We have 3 that are working on their wildland certification, and we've got 1 that's in the process. We also had 1 that picked up an application on Saturday. We did get 1 new recruit. She is certified and also a paramedic. We had 1 person that completed the EMR class. We've had 2 that completed the EMT class. We have 2 currently in Fire Academy and 7 currently in EMT class.
So you've added 10 in the month from where you were?
No.
I saw you nominate 15.
That was active.
Okay, so total is everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
White House, Chief Tate.
Good evening. Y'all notice I got rid of my scooter today, so bear with me. I'm walking a little slow. The foot hurts today. So this past month, we had 3 people complete wildland training. Unfortunately, they weren't able to attend the skills day we had this past Saturday, so hopefully we can get them in the next one. I've got 2 new members. 1 has been processed and complete. He's actually a returning member who was also a part-time paid staff for the ESD at one point, who has returned to the department, and I picked up a new member who's went and took his drug test today, I believe, so we should be getting him processed in as well this week. He is a retired career firefighter out of Rowlett that now lives in the district and has said retirement isn't what he thought he was, and he wants to come back and help a little bit. He said he definitely doesn't want a full-time job, but he would like to help. A couple of the chiefs mentioned the Texas Public Safety Association. That was a project we got asked to assist with at White House High School. That is actually the academic portion of the Fire and Police Academy type information they do at White House. They don't currently have a full academy, but it's like an introduction course to law enforcement and firefighting. And the director of that program asked if we could supply some judges for that. So White House, Chapel Hill, Flint, is that it? Winona? Okay. So 3 departments sent a total of about 8 people out there to help them with that. Was really an interesting thing for us to come out and do. We'll be helping with them that in the future whenever they do it. This was a regional event, so they don't qualify under UIL in the state of Texas yet, but they will be moving forward to try to get accreditation through that program in the coming years. Tyler Asti is going to join it next year, so I think Tyler may end up being the host next year, but we'll see how that goes. Any questions? Thank y'all.
Thank you. One owner, Chief Allen.
Good evening. As you see, we're pretty busy this month, looks like, for as far as calls. Man, we've achieved finally seemed like we achieved some milestones as far as our training. We were able to send 6 firefighters, I believe it was, to the Wildland Skills Day there in Winona. Thanks to Lieutenant Bardwell, we now have 6 fully certified wildland firefighters. And then Sunday, we had one of our gentlemen, he achieved his firefighter 1 hazmat ops and awareness. So now he can travel on down the path to firefighter 2. And I believe I've got 4, if not 5, applications working on getting all the paperwork to Shannon. So hopefully we'll get all those processed, put back in, and get them started down that same path. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
You got an incomplete report and missing report, those paid staff or volunteer?
I think one of them's a duplicate, and then one is just, I think it's waiting on a patient care report, last I looked.
Thank you, Chief. Also, would like to remind you, chiefs, and make sure don't slip up on you, make sure you check your first responder organization, because I know some of them are coming up for expiration probably, so make sure you get all that paperwork done into EMS ahead of time so you can get it signed, because they're pretty slow about getting it done. So we don't want it slip up on us like it did last time. So if y'all would do that, I would appreciate it. And we appreciate all that y'all do. So this time we'll move to item 15, which will be closed session. The board will convene a closed session.
Before we move into closed session, can we go ahead and do the?
Yeah, I was gonna say before we go, we'll do that, but anyway. So if we could get the family members to come up, we'll take a picture with y'all and then we'll go into closed session.
So they renamed part of Old Bullard after them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did before you got in, we did a resolution acknowledging it, so we're just gonna do a photo with them. Sorry, Johnny, I didn't know you were headed down that path. I didn't know you were headed down that path.
That's okay, that's not a problem. Yeah, I was gonna say before.
Wait, Brandon, you want to take one copy with you?
Yeah. We'll take one. Yeah. We'll do that. Commissioners in here with you?
Can we get as close to the desk as possible? Okay, yeah.
Y'all come on. Get it off? Okay. You wanna take? Anyway. And we are in closed session at 7:30. 15.
Call them and ask if somebody can sign on his behalf.
What time did you call us?
7:15. Yeah. Anybody need to use the restroom real quick? I'm gonna run while Mac's in there and I'll be right back. wait on Scotty. Text him, make sure he's gonna turn his deal back on.
Scope is the host. Well, it says we're waiting for the host to join.
Yeah. Is it back on?
That's it.
He's working on it.
Should we mention the fact of the countywide agreement? There's a reason why we're not signing the joint agreements.
There he is.
This meeting is being recorded.
Call the meeting back to open session at 8:29 PM. And, item 16, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on authorizing a continued subscription to IT infrastructure, vulnerability testing software, and monthly cost of $1,317. Allow staff to continue current subscription from services from vendors through the end of the fiscal year in the amount not to exceed $10,536. Would entertain a motion on that.
So made.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to allow the staff to continue current subscription and services from vendor through the end of the fiscal year in the amount not to exceed $10,536. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. Item number 16.2, there's no action to be taken on that item at this time. And under 16.3, discuss and consider and take any necessary action on legal representation for primarily employment law matters with Eric Colder firm.
Make the motion that we execute the Coder engagement letter and authorize our board president to sign any related documents.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to sign the engagement letter for Colder law offices and have the president to sign the documentation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Item 17, remarks by presiding officer and/or board members, information updates, items to be placed on future agendas, and future meeting dates, times, and/or locations. Commissioner Dominy, you have anything you need to say?
No, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Wilson?
Not at this time.
Commissioner Thornton, you have anything?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Arnold?
I would like to see a proposal on the command trucks at the next meeting.
Okay. All right. We can do that. And just for everybody's information, there will be a workshop held on March the 12th, 6 PM here. So anybody that would like to attend is more than welcome to attend, and the agenda will be posted the Friday before the 12th, and you'll be able to see what we're gonna talk about. So, outside of that, we appreciate everything and each and every one of you do. Just keep up the good work, take care of yourselves and your families, and with that being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by Commissioner Wilson. We are adjourned at 8:33 PM.